Way out here on the Washington County line,
How you doing today, ma'am?
you probably don't expect
All right, I'm going to have you right on your way.
a line of cars.
Slow it down.
But that's what can happen when your commute comes face to face
And you're going to work, right?
with these faces, the survey crew for the Department of Transportation.
Must be important if you've got the whole road blocked off.
Every 10 years, they'll slow you down to get the load on where you're coming from
Where were you?
At home.
and going to.
And what's the major purpose of this trip?
To buy groceries.
People almost can't realize it's that important to us to record that they're going from home to the grocery store and back. But that's what they want to know.
So why take 1 minute out of your busy day to stop and take a survey? Because the information you provide will help decide what our road needs and even where commuter lines might go for the next 10 years.
They can figure out where to spend construction dollars, road improvement dollars.
And by the way, it's busy. And not everybody stops.
Yeah, you know, that happens.
But expect a smile
All right.
and perhaps miles of road improvements when you do. Chris Patro,
Thank you for your time.
Eyewitness News.
All right, you have a nice day.
The homecoming pep rally for the Cooper Hawks.
And get ready for our pep fest. We can get pumped for the big game tonight.
This young lady may not look it, but 17-year-old Mary Nystrom is the homecoming queen. She's the one with the big smile. And that's Mary tumbling. There's her falling. Set. And guess what? That's Mary kicking. You see, Mary Nystrom is the place kicker for the Cooper Hawks football team.
I tried out in front of the whole entire football team, and, you know, it just happened to work. The snaps worked, the ball went up, and, you know, it was good, so.
And Mary's been kicking ever since. She's only missed one field goal, never missed a point after, and loves being one of us. Tonight, Mary's kicking coach helps her get ready for the game.
She's nervous for the homecoming thing. I think all the cameras, but she'll be loose in a couple minutes.
Mary's grandma isn't worried. She never misses a game and says Mary's a competitor.
You know, she always wanted to do what her brother could do. When they played a game, she wanted to win.
Mary's first big moment came with 2:45 left in half. This point after brought the Hawks to within 7. Mary's second big moment came at halftime.
And your 2000 King and Queen.
For Mary Nystrom, a girl with cleats on her feet and a crown on her head, this night could hardly be better.
I don't think so. It's been awesome.
Wile E. Coyote right
In his 7th year with the Vikings, Chris Walsh has earned a reputation as a heavy hitter. In fact, you might even call him the sleep doctor with his lights-out technique. It's all enough for opposing players to lose sleep over, except you'll never guess who's losing sleep here.
I've had a hard time sleeping for a while now, and I'm a pretty high-strung person. I think a lot in terms of night time as well.
Yeah, you might say Chris Walsh spends a lot of time thinking about sleeping. In fact, he says that's a big reason why he has trouble sleeping.
I think I'm a pretty intense person, and I'm kind of always looking at what I'm going to do tomorrow or the next day. How can I get better? What can I do to improve?
You might even say Chris Walsh spends a lot of time talking about sleeping, too. In fact,
I took a class at Stanford from Dr. William Dement, who's the most world-renowned sleep research and expert guy in the world, really, and really learned a lot on the importance of sleep. And I think it's something that we take for granted as a society, and I think it's an aspect that can definitely help you playing football.
And so Walsh continues to hunt down a successful night's sleep. 10 hours a night, 15 vitamins a day. Anything to stay sharp for this very, very big Monday night.
I think it's a natural progression to go to what else can we do to get an edge? What else can you do to better performance or just optimum health is your sleep and your rest. All those things combined, I think, you know, it's become that competitive.
This poem is called
The Leaf Treader.
A leaf treader.
A leaf treader.
A leaf treader.
By Robert Frost.
By Robert Frost.
I've been treading on leaves all day until an autumn tired.
Gold of the color and the form of leaves I have trodden and I admire it.
Perhaps I have put forth too much strength and been too fierce from fear.
I have safely trodden underfoot the leaves of another year.
All summer long they were overhead, more lifted than I am.
To come to their final place in the earth they had passed by me.
And when they came, it seemed with a will to carry me to death.
They spoke to the fugitive in my heart as if it were leaf to leaf. As if it were leaf to leaf.
As if
it were a leaf to leaf.
If it were leaf to leaf.
Leaf to leaf.
They tapped at my eyelids and touched my lips with an invitation to grief.
But it was no reason I had to go.
Because they had to go.
Now up my knees.
To keep on top of another year of snow.
Another year.
Another year of snow.
On top of another year of snow.
Of another year of snow.
On top of another year of snow.
Do you like Robert Frost?
Good choice!
Well, if you take a look around the Twin Cities right now, the fall colors are looking pretty vivid.
Definitely. Most people glance at the leaves, rake them up, or simply walk right over them. But journalist Dave Wertheimer asked people to take a little time for a poetic look at this colorful season.
This poem is called
The Leaf Treader.
A leaf treader.
A leaf treader.
A leaf treader.
By Robert Frost.
By Robert Frost.
I've been treading on leaves all day until an autumn tired.
Gold of the color and the form of leaves I have trodden and I admire it.
Perhaps I have put forth too much and been too fierce from fear.
I have safely trodden underfoot the leaves of another year.
All summer long they were overhead, more lifted than I am.
To come to their final place in the earth they had passed by me.
And when they came, it seemed with a will to carry me with them to death.
They spoke to the fugitive in my heart as if it were leaf. As if it were leaf to leaf.
As if
it were a leaf to leaf.
If it were leaf to leaf.
Leaf to leaf.
They tapped at my eyelids and touched my lips with an invitation to grief.
But it was no reason I had to go.
Because they had to go.
Now up my knees.
To keep on top of another year of snow.
Another year
On
of
top
snow.
of another year of snow.
On top of another year of snow.
Of another year of
On
snow.
top of another year of snow.
Do you like Robert Frost?
Good choice!
Nice job to Dave Wertheimer. Did you recognize that little boy at the end of the story?
Little boy at the end.
Little Jack, my little Jack. Didn't he look cute?
Yeah, he did. He looked adorable. Looked like he was enjoying himself.
He liked the poem, definitely.
Yeah, good
He
for
likes
him.
leaves too, doesn't he?
Exactly. A lot of leaves out there.
It's at least above zero, which is pretty balmy. I think it's like between 5 or 10 degrees out here. Like hundreds of cars covered with snow in a big field. Like, oh, more than, yeah, hundreds and hundreds of cars. We're at the Minneapolis impound lot. My boyfriend's car was at a friend's house in Minneapolis last night, and it got towed. My name is Debbie Hahn. I live in St. Paul. He got a new plate recently. We don't know the license plate number. It's a 1990, it's a white Geoprism, and I just know the letters of the license plate. It's DZB. Pretty lucky so far, and the line wasn't very bad either. So this is sort of like a ticket. Like I should look and see how much the fee is and send this in. Snow, SE must mean snow emergency.
Thank you. Have a nice New Year.
Thanks, you too. Well, let's see. There. Hopefully it'll start right up. Oh, that's a good sound. Very snow covered. Hello? I got your car. So you're kind of at their mercy, because if they tow your car, come here and get it, and there's no way I'm going to argue with the people who are working in there or try to like go to court or anything like that to fight it all. Ideally, I think the lesson is if you live in Minnesota, it's best to have a house with a garage. So the ticket for like 30 and the towing fee of 75, and the fact that I lost an hour or so out of my day. Try to have some good humor about it and just pick it up when you can. I don't know what else you can do.
If you're the kind of person who gets lost and confused trying to figure out what items in what aisle at the grocery store, take my advice. Don't even try figuring out which item is taxed and which isn't. Here's one way to look at it. If you buy a hamburger, for example, at Burger, you're going to pay tax. But if you buy the hamburger to make that hamburger, well, there's no tax. Although that's about as simple as it gets. For example, here in the juice section, the state sees a taxable difference between this cran raspberry and this high C. The high C does not have 15% fruit juice. This, of course, does, and that's the difference.
No, there's a lot of those that don't make sense.
Regular spring water, tax-free. Carbonated water, well, you're going to pay tax for those bubbles. Does it make any sense? No.
But most of the government doesn't make any sense to me anyways.
If you grab yourself a bag of raisins, you won't pay any tax. But if you add chocolate to those raisins, well, you also add tax.
These have no chocolate on them.
Right.
I'll pay the tax.
Oh, you'll pay all right, although the confusion doesn't stop at the door of the grocery store. For example, if you want your car washed, you're going to pay tax for it. But if you want someone to jumpstart your car, well, it's tax-free. And if all this confusion drives you to an early grave, you can rest in peace knowing your family won't have to pay a dime in tax for your casket. But if they want to bring you flowers, well, you know what they say about death and taxes. Rod Rassman, Eyewitness News.
They have the habit of going back there, that creek right back there, but, you know, as kids, I guess, you know.
And Miguel Perez, the manager of the trailer park where these kids lived, says there could hardly be a worse time to be curious about this drainage ditch.
It's usually around 2 feet deep and no more than that, and right now I think they said it's about 15 feet deep.
15 feet of murky, icy, trash-littered water.
With some 8-foot holes.
The police chief says the ditch had 2 sets of small footprints leading right up to it.
That's a strong current.
He believes those prints belong to 5-year-old Mark Morales and his 8-year-old cousin Abel Torres. The boys live right next door to a few hundred yards from the ditch.
So you got to feel for the parents, what they're going through, and nobody should have to do that.
At the same time, no one should have to do what Chief Don Davern is doing either.
We're going to work our way up and hope that this stuff will cut loose and just flow down as much as possible. This is plenty thick.
Davern is conducting a thorough search.
If there isn't an intake here.
And fearing what he might find. Difficult day to be a police chief.
It is. I've got kids that age.
To removing the ice that the boys' bodies may have been hung up on, the city of Atwater brought over its thermal imaging device, which would be able to see a slightly warmer object under the ice.
Just thought we'd come down and see if it would help.
And help is all these 2 fathers are hoping for.
Okay. You want to be with your wife? I think that's a good idea. She probably needs you.
Because at this point, even the most optimistic people are bracing for the worst.
Try not to hope for the, you know, the worst, but it's inevitable, I guess.
Inside, however, I think it provides a place for people to come.
tranquil, but at the same time also quite inspiring. We're both a landmark, but we're also a haven within the city.
Now you can hear the bell. Goes off every 15 minutes, and I think that's 12 noon. It is terrific. What a beautiful day, huh? This is the cathedral. It's a real big church, and they're replacing the roof and repairing the dome. Must be fun working up here, huh, Christopher?
This is an example of the wood that's underneath the copper, and you can see how rotten it has become.
And then the copper, when it's all done, it'll be real nice and gold color copper.
The best part is putting on the nice new shiny copper.
Restore, rejoice.
That's beautiful. Huh?
What we are doing is restoring the building for future generations, and when we're all done, we're going to rejoice.
Isn't this the third largest dome in the United States?
I think the inspiration that the cathedral provides is very key to the city, to the life of the city.
Really is interesting, extremely.
That's the difference the cathedral provides, is our beauty is open to everyone.
Hard to believe that this was built.
Whatever. Thank you, Joe. Very fun. The Cathedral of St. Paul is beaming tonight. As you can see from Chopper 5, crews installed the first new pieces of copper on the main dome roof today. It's part of a 30-month, $35 million restoration project to restore and preserve the 85-year-old landmark. Photojournalist Dave Wertheimer was there for today's big milestone.
However, I think it provides a place for people to come. Tranquil, but at the same time also quite inspiring. We're both a landmark, but we're also a haven within the city.
Now you can hear the bell. Goes off every 15 minutes, and I think that's 12 noon. It is terrific. What a beautiful day, huh? This is the cathedral. It's a real big church, and they're replacing the roof and repairing dome. Must be fun working up here, huh, Christopher?
This is an example of the wood that's underneath the copper, and you can see how rotten it has become.
And then the copper, when it's all done, it'll be real nice and gold color copper.
The best part is putting on the nice new shiny copper.
Remember, restore, rejoice.
That's beautiful. Huh?
What we are doing is restoring the building for future generations, and when we're all done, we're going to rejoice.
Isn't this the third largest dome in the United States?
I think the inspiration that the cathedral provides is very key to the city, to the life of the city.
Really is interesting, extremely.
That's the difference the cathedral provides, is our beauty is open to everyone.
Well, the cathedral has set up a website to monitor the crew's progress. You can be linked to it by going to KSTP.com and clicking on the featured links icon. Still ahead, Thursday.
From most angles, this shed fire in Rosemount looks pretty. From Chopper 5, you can see the smoke and flames. No one was hurt, a few tractors destroyed.
It was just one big ball of fire.
But to Marlon Rexigal, this shed held some priceless memories. It was a place where he built a dream.
I built a wooden sailboat, and all my boat building equipment is in there.
He built this 42-foot wooden sailboat in there. Now, he just watches as firefighters douse the flames and all the burned equipment that helped build the boat. Luckily, prized possession is far from the fire.
No, the boat's in Louisiana, thank goodness.
And for that alone, this retired farmer is very grateful.
We're not really expecting that much trouble.
We're not expecting it either, man, you know.
Stand up for the rights of the workers and the rights of the people.
More than 300 marchers taking to the streets to mark May Day.
Respect for everyone.
The parade route they filed for took them from Peavy Park to the Federal Building Plaza.
Yeah, I think the turnout was great. It's really incredible to see all these different types of groups come together for a common cause, and that's immigrant rights.
we're going to show them that we mean business and that the community's going to support us.
The Hotel Workers Union leaders then headed to the Grand Hotel to protest working conditions there. A rally.
All done? Yeah, we're done. That was great.
Then a fringe group broke off, marching randomly through downtown. Close by, but not moving in.
You got a nice mouth on you, lady.
Onlookers didn't know what to make of it.
Well, it's hard to know what they're protesting.
After zigzagging and clogging the streets of downtown Minneapolis for more than an hour,
We've been waiting here for over a half hour to go 2 blocks.
the protest petered out at Loring Park.
That's why we're all out here, social justice.
Mother Nature's pretty strong to mess with.
Mother Nature has saved the heaviest rain of this day for tonight.
3 days of it, yeah, it does start to get tired. You tend to get tired a little quicker. You have a lot of stamina when you start, but when you sit down, you realize how tired you are.
Tonight, several hundred people finally took some time to sit down and warm up at this church.
Move them through, apparently 200 or 300 an hour, and they said about 3,000 today.
Sandwiches.
Sandwiches.
It's amazing what people can do. It's just amazing.
Looks full. Day and night, they work and watch the water rise and race past. Twice a day at Falls, city leaders try to map out a plan to make sense out of the chaos which is around them.
Somebody asked about MnDOT.
Tonight, Mayor Dave Smigluski admits the work is just beginning. The river's crest is still days off.
The room we're in right now had water within 6 inches of the floor last time. And it sounds like it's going to be there this time again, too.
In fact, tonight there is now water in the lower levels of businesses and City Hall here on Main Street. Is how serious the situation is here. Even 3-year-old Jimmy Rupp is filling sandbags.
The last time we had a flood, I was 9 months pregnant with him. Now he's helping out with this one.
I can't believe it's happening again. It's just, I don't know, it's just speechless.
As arms begin to burn after hours of lifting heavy sandbags and your truck dumps dirt for the dikes, people here in Granite Falls know they are possibly in for several nervous and very hard days as the river rises.
Yeah, I mean, we had the flood in '97, the tornado last summer. You know, how much more can one community take? But everybody keeps showing up to get it done, and so it's working out.
Well, we could be in for a time.
Here in Montevideo, people are packing up. Mayor here says dozens of homes will be evacuated tomorrow. Tom Norman is moving his family tonight.
And the river just keeps coming, and I don't think we're going to be getting away from that.
We can watch and see it come up. Hopefully we won't, but...
That was Maureen Krogstad in February.
I don't know, it's just getting scarier all the time.
Maureen today as the dike goes up, and she fears she could lose her home for the second time since 1997.
I'm feeling we're going to be evacuated. You know, that down here they say the water's starting to come up.
That's the lower level of Bob Ladner's hardware store today. Back in February, he was hoping all of this would stay dry. No such luck.
I like the river. I enjoy the river. It's been our, it's our heritage here, but it certainly seems to have changed its attitude in the last 15 or 20 years, and gets to be a lot more difficult to deal with.
Watching all these people here, it's awesome. Getting the line going.
I mean, if it saves somebody's house, you feel good about that.
Oh, it's cold, wet, miserable, muddy, slide all over. It's a mess.
But this incredible effort is still beautiful in the eyes of Leon Moe.
This is a depth of 97.
These sandbags could save his Granite Falls home.
I certainly appreciate them. I really do. They're wonderful. I could never keep up with them.
Crews removed the fencing on the footbridge today. Water is now expected to overbridge in just a few days. The fence would only catch debris and make things worse. You can see the river is fast approaching businesses.
It's for a good cause.
As kids like Bethany Stroke work for hours,
In the back of their minds, volunteers and homeowners like Leon Moe
I can't believe it.
know the river could ultimately prove more powerful than they are.
I hope it don't rain. If it rains a lot, I hope we don't lose it, but we might. If it rains a lot, we could end up losing it yet, even after all this effort.
Scattered showers, and they're more than scattered. Recently, they've been pretty persistent, very consistent shower activity over eastern Minnesota and western Wisconsin. There's more to come.
When's the flood talk going to resume?
My name's Mishke, ladies and gentlemen. What God created on the 8th day, baseball. That's how I look at it. This may be the only luxury box in Midway Stadium.
Saints means fun times outside baseball. We like the tailgating.
I think we should have stuck with hot dogs.
And the beer.
This is Minnesota, and it's never been more beautiful. Spring in full bloom, the universe bursting with action. It's a wild, impossibly complex, enchanting, mysterious existence. Hey, what? Huh?
We've been getting all these players ready, and it's payoff time, so.
We have all the food, and they have all the beer, so we're going around borrowing beer from everybody.
I'm saving a spot. I need something to drink here.
There's a payback.
Rain gonna go away, come back another day.
Understand, Soda, you do not let the weather dictate your fun.
Wet is the only word for it today.
Souvenir programs here.
We can't compete with the majors in power and speed, but I defy anyone to have more fun
Anybody need a beer?
at the Dome than they can have here. Top of the evening to you, ladies and gentlemen. The trains are rolling by. The ball players are on the field. It's a glorious evening in St. Paul, and we celebrate it here at Stadium as the St. Paul Saints get underway with their home opener. Baseball is being played. Can't complain.
Where else can you go and watch baseball? Sit in a hot tub. I mean, that is cool.
I do deep work. If it gets too deep for you, you just let me know. I enjoyed out here. Lots of spirit.
They say, Mishke, what is it about baseball that's so special? And I tell them, the pace, the pastoral setting, the patter in the stand, eternal connection all boys have with this game. Go with the P words always, and you'll explain what baseball is all about. Stick with the P words. The panoramic view from behind the plate, the sense of paradise, the park itself. The passion, P words, peaceful. It's peaceful out here.
Someone called and asked who was winning.
Oh, who the hell cares?
Okay. I just for the harmonica.
Oh, yeah. Forgot about that. That'll kill some time.
Can you do that with a cigar?
Oh, yeah, I can do it. I can smoke a cigar, blow a harmonica, and kiss my wife at the same time.
Wow.
Yeah. She gets hurt, but... When I leave here, I always have the same feeling. I lock up the shack, the lights go out, the place empties, and I leave a ball field saying to myself, what an unusual way to make a living. I'd like to change the world, but how to, so I'll have to settle for making you laugh.